You are about to enter a zone like no other. A zone which is uncensored and unfiltered. Starring Noel GLYNN with CHERYL GLYNN. Also starring Teddy the Terrier. You are watching the official Tardis zone. Prepare yourselves. This will be a trip of a lifetime.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Tardis Zone Live. As you can see by the heading of this stream, Jodie Whittaker has come out and said she is going to be staying for Series 13. So, obviously, like yous ourselves, some of yous that have joined me, we were in the live chat when Eddie Scarrow talked their doctor. Had done their live stream, and Jodie Whittaker, obviously in interviews, has gone around and telling people that she is staying for Series 13. Now, if Jodie is staying, how do you guys feel? Leave a comment and let me know. Personally speaking, I made a few comments during the live stream. I don't think BBC can actually really justify giving Jodie Whittaker a third series, let alone Chris Chibnall. It just seems strange. I mean, how low does the ratings have to go before BBC start caring? I called for a boycott. Of course, Eddie doesn't think that's the way to go, and that's fair enough. We obviously all have different opinions, but I don't know. I mean, that's the only way I can see anything happening is a boycott, because if the ratings go down so low, you mean to tell me they'll still give a third series if the ratings go down so low? Are you going to punch your source? No, why would I punch my source? Sure, I said this a couple of months ago when the rumour first started that there was a chance that Jodie Whittaker could stay on for Series 13. But the way that I've been told it is, yeah, she could be technically in Series 13, but in one episode. Just because she's gone around and said she's in Series 13 doesn't actually mean that she's in the whole lot of Series 13. We just do not know. And we all know that there is, and Eddie spoke about it, we do know that there is a regeneration episode that already has been filmed. So why would they film a regeneration episode if you're going to go ahead and give Jodie Whittaker a Series 13? You mean to tell me that they've actually thought way ahead and they've actually filmed the regeneration episode? Do you know what I mean? It's actually ridiculous. Or unless it's just a special that they've just filmed and the Daleks just happen to be in it, and maybe there is a regeneration in it, but maybe it's a fake regeneration like Peter Capaldi had done with Bill. Do you remember when she thought she shot him and he was regenerating, but it turned out to be a fake regeneration? I mean, my source and the sources that I have been spot on with everything, so I don't know why people are saying, are you going to be angry with your source? Why would I be angry with the source? I told you this, right? Christopher Eccleston said the same thing. He was going around and telling people that he was still the doctor when he wasn't the doctor. We do now know that he was sacked when he was going around telling people he was the doctor. This means absolutely nothing until I see Jodie Whittaker on location, as I have said to you before. But the thing about it is, if this is a possibility, what can we do as fans? Now, as I said on that live stream, I was in the live comments and I did call for a boycott. Now, some people agreed with me and some people don't. But to me, I think it's the only way we can go. Because, I mean, you mean to tell me that they're going to ignore the ratings if they go under 3 million? Come on. And even it's getting dangerously close. Do you know what I mean? So I just don't I don't see the justification in this. I don't even see the justification in actually giving Chris Chibnall a third series. This isn't just about Jodie Whittaker. This is about Chris Chibnall as well. I don't know how the BBC can actually justify this. Now, of course, Jodie is actually saying a lot lately in interviews. She has said a couple of things, obviously, that have annoyed fans in the latest video. Now, I put it up on yesterday's stream, and I think we got, what did we get in, lads? About, lads and ladies, about 6 minutes in. I've been told to check. So, hold on. Oh, I've actually got a message from Oh, I've got 6 messages. Wow. Hold on, guys. We might have something for you. I just want to see if I'm actually allowed to talk about this first. So, right. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to do something here. I'm just going to go on to Google real quick for you guys. Right. Just give me a second. You'll see why now in a minute. And then I'll read out. I'm going to check with my source, but Eddie is just had to send me something. And I think I've got an email as well. So me and Eddie's sources are pretty bloody bang on when it comes to information. So, as everybody has been speculating over the last couple of months, we do know that there's been rumors about who the Judoon are looking for. Now, while if people remember, I don't know if people remember, but you remember when the rumor that Rose was supposed to be returning, and someone seen a leaked script, and all fans were trying to figure out what the name, because there was a name that appeared, but it was so blurry, but you could see clearly see an R in it. So people were speculating that it was Rose, but it turned out it was Ruth. Some fan actually cracked it, and it was Ruth, right? So I'm going to show you now what I've been sent. Well, I'm going to show you this actually first. Right, because this is interesting. All right, so here we go. Hold on. Right. You can see that guy's there, right? So Joe Martin is set to appear as a character called Ruth Clayton in The Fugitive of the Judoon. Neil Stuckey, I can never get his second name right, is also set to star in Series 12 as are the Judoon in Fugitive of the Judoon. Now this is the this is more information. Something for you to show. You can mention it and me if you want. It's just a rumor, however. Character of the Gloucester tour guide Ruth Clayton is an incarnation of the Doctor. Most people rumor that she's a prior incarnation, but that fells up canon as we know it. So I'll just show you very quickly who they're talking about. So it's this, if I'm correct in saying, and it's this woman here. Hold on. There you go. So it's this woman here, Ruth Clayton. There she is. That's who is rumored to be, according to this latest rumor. Of course, Eddie has already probably gone and checked this with all the other relevant sources. So I'm pretty sure once I talk to my source, it's going to be the same thing. But there you go. There's a photo. So there's some more filming photographs here. So we'll just throw a few up just to show you. There she is again. And then that's obviously Ryan Manny. That's just probably off when they were just relaxing there. But there's that image that we've all seen. So there she is again. So interesting. We do have to actually say this though, because Eddie is like me now. We have to be actually careful what we say. It came from one of my sources. It's just a rumor, but she may be the adult version of the timeless child and the Doctor. Okay. Eddie, just to ask you, a lot of fans are speculating about Chloe Webber. Now, I honestly don't think it's Chloe Webber because that actually blows out the Chloe Webber rumor actually for good, because this woman is clearly a lot older. Chloe Webber would only be in her 20s, if I'm correct in saying. So, well, it is time travel, I suppose. It could be an older version of Chloe Webber, but I highly doubt it. So I think, I don't know, maybe that kind of puts that rumor to bed, I think, personally. So I don't know. There's a question for you, Eddie, if you want to answer that in the comments there. Colin has asked, the both of us actually, the child is timeless. How can it grow up? And Daniel says, how stupid if it's true. As we have to say, it is just a rumor. But that is oh, the Chloe Webber thing is a meme now. All right, it's just I just see some people actually getting really highly invested in the saying it's actually Chloe Webber. I thought they were actually being. Producer Nikki Wilson also tweeted that the episode has a massive reveal. I'm gonna say it out straight, Eddie. I think it's the Sea Devils, because if you go on to DB, is it, or BD, wherever, which way those letters. I always get those two letters mixed up. Anyway, it's on actually that there's some actor on it, and it says that he's playing a Sea Devil. So maybe that is the big reveal at the end of that episode or something, that the Sea Devils are not. You know what I mean? Because then are they supposed to appear in the next episode? So they probably appear at the end of this episode, and that's the so-called big reveal. Or maybe Gallifrey is not really gone. Or maybe we'll get someone throw a line out there, say, oh, there's loads of dead planets out there. Like, you know, some plot development for the whole Gallifrey, Gallifrey being destroyed story arc. The rumor is the timeless child gives her perpetual regenerations. Hold on, there it is. It's going to come up on the screen, to the Time Lords, so she would continue to grow. Wow. No, I'm pretty sure when I looked at IMBD, it was the next episode, The Sea Devil, The Fugitive of the Jadoon. And then I actually took a screenshot of it actually and put it up. That's what it's saying on that. Now, obviously, you know, I don't know if anybody, that's what I've been trying to say. I don't know if anybody can actually go on and change that and make it seem like they're in the episode, but it's definitely there. I took a screenshot of it as well. She's going around telling everybody she's doing another series, but we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, you know, I don't know where we go from here, because it's not getting any better. Like, where's the like? Fair enough, Series 12 is a slight improvement on Series 11, but the thing about it is that it's not Doctor Who standard. It's not at the level that it needs to be at. And I'm sorry, but if the BBC think this is acceptable, it's not. But at this stage, maybe they just don't care anymore. There's another one. I'll put Eddie's comments up because Eddie and myself do deal with source information, and me and Eddie always collaborate anyway. So if you haven't actually subscribed to the channel, he's in the live comments there. If you want to click on his name, it'll be easier just to click on his name. Go to the YouTube channel there and give the channel a subscribe. So just a theory, just a rumor, but we may be getting another female doctor and a doctor of color who may be the original first doctor. Yeah, we heard this a few months ago. And we actually spoke about this, Eddie, a lot off air. I mean, it's I mean, they're saying that they want to write good stories and all. We hear this, that a Doctor Who it's not political, that it's all in their heads, and then they go and do something like that. Well, then they're actually proving their point. You should just cast someone who's actually great. Could actually, what's her name again? See, I forgot her name already. Ruth Clayton. Could she actually be, in theory, the Doctor to replace Jodie Whittaker? Now, again, I'm speculating here. I don't know. That's just a theory of mine. Maybe she will be the next Doctor. Maybe maybe we're going to be introduced to her in this episode. Maybe Ruth will end up. She's allegedly an earlier Doctor, so there you go. But maybe they'll give her a full series. Angry Pacifist too has said, I don't mind Jodie staying. She was miscast and I don't like her, but Chibnall is the issue. He needs to go. Yeah, we've been talking about a lot on this channel. Chris Chibnall is the biggest issue. I mean, he gave her the job and he's the one that has brought in the writing staff. He is the bigger issue, but unfortunately, we have known for a few months now that he's staying. It looks like Jodie Whittaker's future was always still up in the air. And come here, just because she is, and Eddie will agree with me on this, just because she is going around saying that she is staying doesn't necessarily mean she is actually staying. Christopher Eccleston did the same thing. Sure, he talks about it. And he's been quite honest about it, that he was going around, he did that Blue Peter appearance in costume and he was already let go. So it means absolutely nothing right now. As I said, for me, the proof will be when we see Jodie Whittaker on location. And if we see her on location with the rest of them, or whoever survives, if anybody is going to die or whatever, we don't know what's going to happen with this series because we just don't know what Chibnall, is aim. Well, we kind of have a theory of where he wants to go with this, but we just don't know where he's going to go because if you look at some of the episodes that he's given us, I mean, he's probably given us one of the worst, well, he actually has given us one of the worst episodes of Doctor Who's entire history in this era. I thought It Takes You Away was bad. I didn't think it could get any worse than that, but it has. And that's what I mean, Stephen. I mean, the ratings are going down slowly. There is, as I said, I've been saying this for the past couple of weeks because people have been speculating, I'll lose 1 million here and 1 million there. No, this is going to be a slow and steady decline all the way through. Now, someone did make a point that might pick up again near the end because obviously people will want to see some sort of movement on the whole Gallifrey thing, so you might get a little boost there. But overall, ratings-wise, this series hasn't lived up to the expectations, and it's sad. It's sad because, as I said, nobody wants to be going online and actually bashing Doctor Who all the time. It's a show that we're very passionate about, you know. It's. I just wish someone at the BBC would actually listen. Goodbye, everyone. No, sorry for barging in. See you all later. Have a fab show. No problem, Eddie. And do me a favor, guys. His name, as I said, is in the live chat there. Go and give the channel Talk Their Doctor a subscribe there, please. And they will, like myself, we do get some information. We collaborate a lot as well. And we actually share information, myself and Eddie, because, like, Eddie's been very good to this channel as well. And so subscribe to the channel, guys, because this is an interesting period for Doctor Who. And Matt Smith said he was staying in May 2003. He left that Christmas. Exactly. Eddie makes that point as well. So you've got to remember, it doesn't matter what she says. We have to see her on location. When she's on location, then I will come out and I'll do a live stream and I'll say Jodie Whittaker is staying. It's as simple as that. And will I be? And people were saying, well, you should be angry with your source earlier on or punch your source. Why would I do that? Source has been spot on about everything else, right? And things can change all the time. This is the thing when you deal with rumor, speculation, and source information, right? You're going to get some things right. You're going to get some things wrong, right? Things that were right at first, things can change, right? After Cardiff, the chaos in Cardiff, we all told you on this channel a few weeks after that blew over, we all told you on this channel, and other people were talking about on Twitter, that apparently there was a whole lot of them were hauled in, and apparently things were aired out and they sorted things out. Now, we're all at the time, we were all saying, oh, we hope that's not true because that's the last thing we need. Well, it looks like it has happened, and they've all came to some sort of understanding, and everything seems to be rosy again. If we believe what we've been told. And remember, BBC will never acknowledge that Cardiff happened anyway. We do know that. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see if it gets under 3 million. If it gets under 3 million, I think BBC really seriously have to consider something. They have to do something. There is no way they can let that continue. Because if they think Jodie Whittaker doing the third series all of a sudden, right, is going to somehow claw the ratings back. I'm sorry. They started off well in Series 11, right? She got a great start. Nobody can deny that. Just under 11 million. That was very good for the very first episode. Let's be honest here. We'll all be honest about that, right? But it's been a steady decline since then, right? It got a spike, Jordan Rosa, and a couple of other episodes. But on general, there's been a steady decline, right? Overnights show the same kind of trend, and it's continued from Resolution all the way into Series 12. Now remember, Doctor Who's been off the screen for over a year too. So if you think about it, it's been on a mini break, right? So, maybe BBC's thinking was, we'll let the fandom settle a bit because, Series 11 was so radical, and they do know, and they won't acknowledge it, but they do know that some fans had a problem. Right? But instead of admitting it, they decided, right, what we'll do is we'll give it a year. The fandom will settle down. They'll be grand. We'll bring back old monsters. We'll bring back the Master. We'll do this and do that, and they'll be back on board. They'll be grand. It's just a blip, right? But this blip has turned into a disaster, right? Because they didn't envision that fans would be so aggrieved about what happened in Series 11. They'd be so aggrieved by BBC's director of drama attacking her predecessors. The attacks on Peter Capaldi, the fans attacking Peter Capaldi and Peter Davison, and anybody that had a problem with Series 11, right? This is the biggest crisis that Doctor Who has had since the 80s. And BBC are just sitting back and they're letting that woman go and say things. And yesterday, right, I put a video on, and by the way, the stream did not, they didn't monetize the stream because obviously I showed these clips of an interview. But apparently she goes on more in that interview, right? Now, Eddie wrote it up. I don't know if he wrote the exact quote, right? But it gives you a general gist of what this woman is about, right? So she had things to say about John Hurt's Doctor, right? Now, obviously, I wanted to kind of continue with that video yesterday, but people were begging me, right? And CHERYL had to actually tell me, people are begging you to actually, will you knock it off? So we ended up knocking it off, right? But if we had a listened on, and it was 16 minutes long, but if we had a listened on, you would have heard more of the arrogance, more of the ego. And also, you'll see that she has done a bit of homework, but you can still see that she's not fully invested in this role, that it's a job, right? Now, where is this? Where is this? Right. So, according to Jodie Whittaker, there's a debate as whether John Hurt is a legitimate Doctor or an older version of another. She also believes her Sonic is unique because she built it. She doesn't help herself, does she? Now, we got to that part with the screwdriver, actually, and we did find that quite arrogant of her. When she said she made it herself. And she does come across as quite arrogant in that video. Now, that does worry me, because when you see someone as arrogant as her and as confident as her, maybe something has happened behind the scenes. This is why, me personally, and I know Eddie doesn't agree with it. Well, I don't think it's not that he agrees with it. I don't think he thinks it will make a difference. But I think if fans continue to turn off, they will actually have no choice but to do something. You mean to tell me they let the ratings go to under 3 million and they'll just ignore that and hope that they gain 4 or 5 million in catch-ups to justify Jodie Whittaker being in the role and Chris Chibnall being still showrunner? Don't get me wrong, in an ideal world, I'd love the two of them to go, right? If I had me way, it'd be Chris Chibnall over Jodie Whittaker. And I've said this openly on this channel. Even though I do believe the Doctor should be male, at the end of the day, the biggest damage that's being done to this show right now is from Chris Chibnall and his writing team. And his inability, and basically just blatantly ignoring canon. Now, we do know as Doctor Who fans that canon, it's a very interesting topic when we talk about it. Because, you know, fans have their own, as Eddie has said, we kind of have our own headcanon. And we like things. Look, I watched a video from Jason Scott. And Jason Scott actually has his YouTube channel up and running, guys. So if you just haven't subscribed, you just be on this panel on a Sunday with Blue Bonnet Hooligan. I'll check out his video. But he was talking about new Coke and old Coke, right? And it got me thinking. And I was saying, do you know what? Like, new Coke back in the day, I remember some people saying that new Coke was better than old Coke. But you see, here's the thing, right? And this is what the point I was trying to make. It doesn't matter if something is an improvement on the original, right? Okay? People are used to a certain thing, right? So everybody was so used to old Coke, there was outrage, new Coke, and then new Coke disappeared, right? Old Coke is back. It's the same with Doctor Who, right? We've had the show a certain way, and it has reinvented itself, but the main staple has been the lead, right? And the lead has always been male, right? Now, Whovians are used to a certain way, certain traditions, right? There's certain things you don't do, and you know what I mean. They're very protective of other things, right? We like familiarity, right? That's what it is. We don't like things to change too much. Now we know Doctor Who does reinvent itself, and we're okay with those changes. But when it comes to the main character, there's just certain things you just do not touch, right? Now, there was outrage when she was cast. For me, there wasn't enough of it. Fans very quickly kind of gave up because they thought there's nothing they could do. And I think we're in a very good position right now as fans because BBC are in a position where they're vulnerable. And two of their main IPs, which is Top Gear and Doctor Who, are in trouble right now, and they have BBC Studios have actually lost money. So, you know, this is testing times. Do I think a boycott can make a difference? Me personally, yes. I know, as I said, Eddie doesn't think it would, and I can understand his point of view, but I think BBC have never been as vulnerable as they have right now. Well, the last time they were this vulnerable was when the whole thing came out about Jimmy Savile, but we won't get into that. But that was the last time they were really vulnerable. I do believe they're in a vulnerable place now, and I do believe, you know, that this decline will continue, but it'll be a steady decline. What I'm asking fans to do is to turn off. Just look, I'd be criticised for it, but I just think I just can't see any other way. I've said to people, writing these are emails, these are letters. I know you think it doesn't make a difference, but if they keep getting them, you know what I mean? They can't ignore it for too long. You know, you keep poking something with a stick, they're gonna react. And that's what we need. We need to get something like that to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a few shout outs now and see who's with me in the chat. So let's see. We'll go right up the top, right up. So we have in the chat with us tonight, we have Stephen. Welcome. We've got Jason. We've got Leland, Colin, Max, Daniel, High Desert 004. The Thing King. Welcome. John Hunt is here. Welcome. Max is here. US Dutch Kitty. Lee Anthony Davis. Super John. Welcome. Angry Pacifist 2. Charlotte is here as well. Welcome, Charlotte. John White is here. Lee Anthony Davis. Welcome, guys. Nice to have you. So I'll have to get myself and John. He's been wanting to link up. We'll have to sort something out soon, mate. Raymond Williams, Stephen Cassidy. Welcome. Who else have we got? We've got John Lays. Welcome, John. Peter D. Welcome, Peter D. We've got Marie Will Griffin. Welcome, Will. Crusader is here as well. Welcome. Daniel. I'm the doctor. Welcome. This is live. It's not pre-recorded. I am live. Welcome. Who else have we got? We've got D. Just D. Welcome. And no, I'm not a fan of Greek yogurt. Maybe if it has a bit of fruit in it, but yeah. And welcome. So yeah, That's what that's what I think right now. It's not in a good place, and I mean, can it require? I don't know. I'm just trying to get into the heads of all these BBC heads, and actually trying to think how they can actually justify giving the two of them another serious. No, not just Jodie Whittaker, but Chris Chibnall and his writers. It's. I just don't. I know. Did you hear? I know. Because he said as well. Ted just let out a whimper. Because he's just so disappointed and upset over Doctor Who. Yeah. I tell you, it's mad. What's the name? What? That's madness. No, I haven't watched Series 12. Says I am the Doctor. No, I wouldn't advise it. But I wouldn't be going around criticising it though if you haven't watched it, to be quite honest with you. I think, I do agree with that. If you haven't watched this era, I don't think you're qualified, or anybody out there is qualified to be doing YouTube videos and actually criticising this show if they haven't actually watched it. Which I'm seeing a lot lately, and it kind of annoys me because I'm a Whovian. I've dedicated this channel to this. I've been working hard on this channel for the last couple of years, and then I just see people come along that not Doctor Who fans, but are just commenting on it because right now Doctor Who is in the negative news, and it actually is annoying me. It bugs me a lot. Because they just swoop in, and then like people are watching their videos, and I'm like, and saying, yeah, Doctor Who's a shambles, and I'm like, but they're only talking about bullet points. They never actually go into details. And that's how they don't watch it. They don't go into detail about it. They just give the bullet points that fans have been given out about, and it actually annoys me that other people, that the public like you ourselves, and not any of you here, but you see, are being fooled and I get sucked into channels like that because it annoys me. Just as I have said, stay in your own garden, So Torchwood is so cool. It's like gory, sexy Doctor Who. I like some of Torchwood. Torchwood got a bit ridiculous at the end, but Torchwood's not a bad show. Gets a bit of stick, but it's not a bad show. Not a bad show. But yeah, I mean, Jodie Whittaker just doesn't help herself with her latest comments. She just comes across as arrogant. She's got this ego, just like her boss. But fans have not forgiven for last year. And I knew this would happen. I spoke about it last year and I said it. If BBC think that taking a year off and bringing back old villains is going to win fans like us over, they're sadly mistaken. And you know what's even more yeah, no, not distressing, no, because it's not distressing, but I think the light is the wrong word to use, but it shows something when you've got even the fans that have watched Series 11 turn off, because that's what you're actually seeing right now with the people that are walking away this series slowly but surely. These are fans that actually were watching Series 11 that are walking away now, because the majority of true Whovians have walked away, except the few that are still waiting for it to come back to some sort of form of glory, which is sad really, because they haven't faced the fact yet that this show is dead. Doctor Who died with Peter Capaldi. I agree with everybody. He was the last Doctor that this great show ever had. And you know what? If we were going to end on a Doctor or end on an actor to play the role, Peter Capaldi for me, there couldn't be a better choice. It's just a pity his era is flawed with some horrible stories, but there's some gems in there. Heaven Sent, for example, is probably one of the greatest episodes or stories ever written, in my opinion. He's up there with Tom Baker, in my opinion, as one of the greatest Doctors in Pertwee. I call them the Holy Trinity, in my opinion. They're the Holy Trinity now. Pertwee, Baker, and Capaldi, and what a tree. We've been very lucky. Let's be honest. We can't sit here and moan about the choices that were made for the Doctor, right? I mean, from all the way from Hartnell all the way up, we have had great actors play the role of the Doctor. Not one poor actor, I don't think. I know people didn't like Colin Baker. I know some didn't like Sylvester McCoy. But for me, they were good actors. They were still good actors. The material that they got wasn't great, you know. So you have to judge them on their acting. And Colin Baker, I have to be honest, I've seen him in other stories now. And I'm not saying I'm warming to him as much, but I don't dislike him as much as I used to. I still think he shouldn't have come out and supported Jodie Whittaker as much as he did, but I can understand from his point of view why he did, because he lives at home with a lot of women and it is a quite female-dominated house, and he is traditionally a feminist, so he was always going to come out and support Whittaker. But his big finish is where he shines. But the Two Doctors is one of the most awful stories. No, I'm still going to say it. But is it worse than Orphan 55? I don't think so. I don't think so. And I never thought I'd say that. But there you go. Yeah, Peter D has it right. I agree. Chris Chibnall doesn't have any ideas. He steals. That's what he does. He's like a JJ. He's like JJ. You know, these new so-called great writers. They just steal other people's work and they're getting away with it. Nobody pulls them up on it. You know, if I was Moffat, RTD, and seeing some of the things that he's ripped off, I'd have something to say. But of course, those guys are probably a lot classier than I am. I'd actually walk into the office and say, "Oi, what you doing ripping off the Rachnos? Oi, what you doing ripping this off? What you doing? Can you not come up with your own material, no?" It's absolutely ridiculous. And he's getting away with it. That's the thing. So, but as I said, fans are finished. They're finished. And they don't like what they see. And they don't help themselves because they started off okay with Spyfall. But, you know, they just can't help themselves. They have to be preachy. And it happened. They got preachy. She lectured the audience. You know, they haven't changed. You know what they say, leopards don't change their spots. She certainly hasn't, and neither has he. So, you know, they've just done it more subtly this time around, except for Orphan 55 when we got that big lecture. But up until then, they were doing it a lot more subtly than they did it for Series 11. But remember, we still have that plastic episode to come up. So we're going to get another preachy episode. So they're not helping themselves, Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall. Or he's not helping her, which way you want to look at it. But they're certainly not helping. And, you know, they continue, they're just going to lose more viewers. I mean, look, I've read comments on Rotten Tomatoes. We've read the comments on IMDb, right? We've read comments on other forums as well, right? The vast majority of them have said boring, dull, Jodie's out of our depth, Chris Chibnall's poor writing, his team are right. But the big main theme was everybody was saying, I used to enjoy Doctor Who, but now it's become preachy and it's lecturing its audience, right? That was one of the biggest things that you could see in everybody's comments. People just don't want to be preached to. They want to be entertained, and this is what's happened. For some, I know why they've done it, but they shouldn't have used Doctor Who to get all preachy. There could have been they could have actually invented the show with just all that virtual signaling and crap, climate change. You know what? You could even get Greta Thunberg to actually star in an episode or something of some other show. Or maybe Chris Chibnall will actually kick us right in the nuts and actually invite her on for real and she'll play an alien or something. Or maybe that's the big reveal at the end, the Judean episode. I don't know. I'm getting sick and tired of all this crap. All I want to do is be entertained, and yeah, every time I turn on the TV, I'm told I'm a bastard. I'm told I should care about the environment and I should be actually living my life. And Ted is upset because Ted wants me to live my life, don't you, Ted? Come here to me, buddy. Come on up. Oh, hello, me friends. Do you want to say hello to everybody? Will we reveal the camera for a few minutes? All right, hold on. Yeah, right. Okay, here. So everybody, as the Teddy always guest stars a little bit. So there's the doggy. Say hello, Ted. There you go. There he is. Because we all know some of you is like Ted. Don't just I'm wondering when someone will do a parody with yeah, I know. I fear that. Now, buddy, what you're getting all excited? What are you all excited for? What? I'm trying to do a live stream, buddy. I'm trying to do a live stream. Yeah. Now, I'm hoping this is set in a parallel universe. Well, some people have actually speculated that. And, you know, sorry about that. That could be he wants his ball. That could be a possibility, you know. It could be a JJ style universe. But all I'll say is that how much damage is this doing to the brand? I mean, can they not see that this is doing damage to Doctor Who? The people are walking, the fans are walking away. Even the ones that have watched Series 11 have walked away. It's ridiculous. I'm just lost for words. The BBC can't justify this. Look, I still sorry about that. CHERYL nearly went flying, right? So she decided to put the doggy bed beside the sofa beside her, right? And she went to step over it, yeah? And she's nearly at to going into the screen of the TV because she misjudged stepping over and she actually stepped on the bed. Funny. So yeah, we'll just have to see. I don't know what you guys think, but I just think we're looking at the worst period now that this show has had since, as I said, the 80s, and it's sad. There was no need to do what they did, and there's no justification for doing what they did. There isn't, except for the fact that they wanted to push an agenda. They wanted to show how diverse they are, and God love them. They really do. Because even when you watch their programming now, right, you can see the strategy and inclusion, the diversity and strategy inclusion. You can see it. It's right there for everybody to see. It has been enacted. If you look at their TV programming, I think BBC have actually, and I praise it, because they've actually done well. They've actually put them out there. The problem that I would have is that some showrunners that are in charge will put a diverse cast in, but as we have seen with Chris Chibnall especially, he doesn't keep them on screen for that long. He seems to kill them off. It's the same with LGBTQ plus characters, right? He brings them on, right? We find out, and I don't even know why he even tells us their sexual preference or what they identify as, because as soon as they do, sure, he kills them off. You know what I mean? So they're not even doing justice to these characters anyway. You know what I mean? You bring these characters in and you're trying to show you're diverse. Well then, okay, first of all, you don't need to tell us the sexual preference. If you want to mention it once so we kind of get the background of them, fine, right? But leave them in the bloody episode, and the characters in the episode. Let's see some character development. Yeah, not just a cross line and then like, bang, he's dead. You know? What was that character that everybody was giving out that got killed? Well, it was by the Dalek, wasn't it? He said he had a boyfriend or something. He was on the screen for literally 20 seconds or something, and they killed him off. How is that being diverse? It's not. It's ridiculous, though. Yeah, I have watched Critical Drinkers video. I'm actually going to put it on for CHERYL to actually listen to it, because everybody, including Eddie Ascaro, everybody is in agreement that his analysis of Chris Chibnall's era is spot on. And it is. I actually want to get him on this channel. I have reached out to him. So I would love to get Critical Drinker on this channel, because I'd love to hear more of his thoughts on the whole era, because it's interesting. That's it. They're ticking boxes. That's all they're doing. They're just ticking boxes, but it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. And they should be called out on it. Now, the media have started to call out on it, and that's the angle they're going at, right? But for me, there's more issues than just the diversity and how long these characters are on screen, right? It's the whole package. It's the writing. It's his staff getting soap writers in to write sci-fi. Nobody with real sci-fi experience is actually writing for Doctor Who. Okay, then his casting choice for the Doctor was a poor one. Apparently, his top choice turned the role down, which we all know now and believe to be Olivia Colman. So he went with his best friend. Okay, bad casting choice. Then he went with a companion in Bradley Walsh, again a best friend of his, bad choice. Okay, even though Graham is a highlight, let's be honest, and I said this the other day, I don't know if people agree with me, but would anybody, before we knew Bradley Walsh was being a companion, would you ever envision him being a companion of the TARDIS? I'm being honest, I never thought I'd see Bradley Walsh in the TARDIS. That's just personally me speaking, but I've never thought of him once as a companion. He's never come into me head before. I think that's the point I'm trying to make. You know, so, you know, there's just Tolson Cole. He was okay in Serious One, but he just doesn't give a crap for this one. He just doesn't give a crap. You can see it comes across. Manip Gill, she's redundant, and she's still redundant. She's getting stuff to do, and she's still redundant. She's coming across as snippy like Jodie Whittaker as well, actually, in some of her scenes. Lecturer, actually, given where'd she get her scientific knowledge from, right? Also, that line, and it still does annoy me, right? So Tesla receives a signal, right? And like every scientist that's curious, you would go and reply back to that signal to see if you get a reply, because human curiosity, there's nothing more powerful, right? If you're curious about it, you have to see. You have to see people do crazy shit to see things, right? So as a scientist, he did that. And then when it gets revealed that he actually sent a reply back, right? Then Jodie Whittaker looks at him with a face like as if she's disgusted with him because he did something that it is natural to every human. There's a human instinct, it's just human nature to be curious, right? And then she turns around, the plank of wood turns around and goes, seriously? And I was like, are you for real? If I received a signal, right, which would never happen, but if I received a signal from outer space, right, do you think I'm just going to sit here and say, I received the signal from outer space, and then someone will say to me, did you reply? No, I didn't reply, because everybody will say, seriously, did you send a reply? Like, see how fucking stupid that sounds, right? And then she runs out in the street just to kind of push the fact that back in 1903 the Americans were racist. She runs out on the street, she tells everybody to get indoors and nobody's listening to her, right? And then of course everybody makes the point. Edison comes out and picks up the newspaper, starts shit talking Nikola Tesla. Then all of a sudden they're running in. And it's true, they just put her in that scene because there's nothing to do with her. She's a plank of wood. My table has more bloody acting ability than that woman. She's just as bad as Jodie Whittaker. There's just so many things wrong with this era, from the writing to the writing staff to the acting to the choices of cast. It's just all wrong from top to bottom. And you're actually seeing the result of that now, because I even said it, and a lot of YouTubers even said it before Series 12 started. We said we'll be surprised if this actually does well. I actually thought personally, and I'll put my hands up and say I was wrong. At the time, I did say that I thought the first episode would do very well. And it actually didn't do as well as I thought it would do. But I never envisioned seeing it this bad. And it's as I said, it's just sad. Look, I could go on all night about everything, but I don't like Manif Gill, says Daniel. She's always giving out about privilege on Twitter. I know she is. I know, and she's an actress, right? So she's in a very privileged position herself. So it's kind of, we don't really know much about Manif Gill because she's a very private person. I suspect, and this is just me speculating, but I suspect that she probably has a very privileged background and she tries to keep that under wraps, because she does. I mean, I remember her last year, she gave out about a pillowcase from Debenhams, I think it was, or something, about how fluffy it wasn't or something, and how disappointed she was or something in the pillow. Like, she just comes with... And then we had a couple of our shills, a couple of our fans actually quoting her. It was quite funny. I actually pulled one of them up on it because someone was giving out about the series, and then they come up with this quote. And then they were asked, who said, that's just something I said. And everybody was congratulating. I said, fair play to you, says he, using a quote from a privileged person like Manif Gill. And then I put up the screenshot, and that shut them up, like, going around quoting her and everything. Like, she isn't this philosopher, She didn't come up with that quote herself. You know what I mean? She stole it off someone else, or she read it somewhere. It's not her quote. I guarantee it's not her quote. And for her to be talking about privilege when we don't know nothing really about her, which suggests to me, logically, that she's hiding something, which means she's hiding her background because she probably is privileged. So, I wouldn't be listening to any actor or actress, right, anywhere around the world that talks about privilege, right, because they don't have a leg to stand on, because they're privileged themselves. So when they start talking about this privilege crap, I tune out, to be quite honest with you. Goes in one ear and out the other ear, right? Half of these gobshites don't even know the price of milk, right? So why would I be listening and taking a lecture from some gobshite that probably hasn't went out in the real world in 20 odd years? Get away. Idiots, dear. And I do agree with Ricky Gervais. I know a lot of them did end up going up and doing speeches, but when he actually did tell actors and actresses to come up, get you our award, thank you as our agent, thank you as our no political speeches, thank you as our God, and then fuck off. He's right. He's right. We don't want to be listening to celebrities telling us that this, that, and the other. If you don't know, so shut your mouth. You have no right to speak. You're there to entertain. If you want to go and preach to the general audience, then give up your career in Hollywood, right? And become a bleeding politician and educate yourself on the stuff that you're talking about, right? And then maybe we'll start listening to you about privilege. And then while you're at it, if you want to give all your money to charity because you're so outraged about privilege that you want to prove a point, then give your money to fucking charity. Not one year's would anyway. Right? It's like the hypocrites that go on talk about climate change flying all over the world. We recently watched an actual clip of what's her name, the English actress. Do you remember what's her name? Emma Thompson, right? And talking about climate change and all. And then the reporter pulled up, well, you flew here and all this, right? And you should have heard her crap excuse. And then he said, did you fly first class or economy class? And she turned around and says, and the way she turned around and says, no, he didn't. Right, so no, it was economy class or it was first class or something. But anyway, our attitude for all these idiots. One thing I'll say about Greta, and I've said this and I've given her credit for this, and it's the only thing I'll give her credit for, right? She tries to leave as little carbon footprint as she can. She sails all around the world. Now, whether she does it all the time or not, I don't know, because you know yourself, the media can lie and you know, distort things. But it does look like she genuinely goes around the world, right? So she's on a boat. So Celie, she's actually, you know, she's actually practicing what she's preaching. She mightn't do it in everything of her everyday life, but she's taking that step. Right? Then you see Leonardo DiCaprio, Al Gore, Emma Thompson, all those other gobshite actors and actresses that you do see out in the street with all those bloody idiots that should be in work and stop disrupting society, climate change activists, a bunch of lazy twats that just want to take time off work and they saw an opportunity, right? All the school kids that are taking days off as well, idiots. Go back to school, get educated, and then actually you might come out with half a brain. Then you'll be able to talk about these things, right? But educate yourself first. All these actors and actresses don't take any notices of them anymore. Actors and actresses are privileged because they earn more than I would in a year. Yes. In a lifetime. We will never, ever. We will never, ever be in a position like them. Never. We'll always be on the breadline, some of us. And that's just the way it is. But I'm not moaning about that. I just hate people that go around preaching to us about the climate when they're flying around in feckin' airplanes. Hypocrites. And then people wonder why I don't believe it all. Then people have a go at me because I don't believe climate change is real. When I see these gobshites flying on aeroplanes and actually living in these houses that aren't actually carbon neutral, you know? Actually, I did the two fingers up in the air, right? The air yoke, and I'm not even on camera. That's ridiculous. So I mean, look, I pay no attention to them. Look, if the climate is screwed and the planet is screwed, well then we deserve it, right? Because we should have been looking after the planet from day one, right? That's the way I look at it. So it's actually ridiculous. And I don't mind. I honestly don't mind if people want to go out there and make a difference. I don't. But I don't want to be preached to. Nobody wants to be preached to. You know, there's ways of doing it. We don't need to be bashed over the head. And by the way, I mean, that poor girl Greta gone around the world. I read something that little or nothing has actually been done since she's been gone around the world. So again, we have to ask the question: are politicians really, you know, do they really want to do something about it? You know, well, keep that crap out of Doctor Who. Keep it out of Doctor Who. You've got other shows to do that on. You could do it on Country File. You could have a whole series of shows that deals with climate change and the effects that us humans have on it, and actually show actual scientific facts that can actually back up everything you are saying, and then maybe I will believe it. But I want to be entertained on Doctor Who. We got James Dawson in the chat. I don't know if that's the same James Dawson. That's the reporter. That does be on Twitter. If it is, welcome. Now, yeah, I do. I look at whether you believe it's a hoax or not. I don't care, right? I don't care. I do believe we should make the planet a better place. I think we should clean up our oceans. I really think, you know, we should do things to make a difference, right? But I mean, I don't want to be lectured on it. I will do what needs to be done. You know, but I honestly don't believe what I'm being told right now. And I need convincing that this whole climate change thing. And if people say, well, look at what's happening in Australia, look at what's happening in India, they've had snow a couple of years back. Right. But you ever notice when you hear those news reports, right, they always say the worst weather since 50 years ago or 60 years ago. So 50 or 60 years ago, they had similar weather, right? What was the excuse back then? It wasn't climate change back then, right? So why is it climate change 50 or 60 years later if they had the same weather back then, right? It's all cycle, right? It's a natural phenomenon. It happens, right? But a few people out there, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. If scientists can change my opinion, then all well and good. But in my opinion, it seems to me you've got Al Gore and a couple of his mates, and then it's gotten all over, and it's all just to make money and make themselves rich, right? They're already talking about a climate tax here in this country, and I know in other countries they've also spoken a carbon tax, they're calling it. So we've already been discussing that. So for me, again, it's just another way, in my opinion, to make money. So if you can show me, if any scientists out there can actually show me actual evidence and not evidence that you give that's predictions, if you can actually show me real hardcore evidence, then I will stop and I'll get on board the climate train, and I will get out there with me hat. I will sing jolly songs and absolutely do nothing, because that's what annoys me, actually. If the planet is really in the state that it is, then what are all the gobshites doing on the streets, just hanging around singing songs and getting stoned? What are they actually doing except disrupting everything? What difference are those gobshites doing? What are they actually doing? None of them are doing what Greta is doing, right? And I will pick up for her here. As I said, she goes around on a ship, right, a boat, whatever, right? She tries to leave as little carbon footprint as she can, right? Fair enough. She practices what she preaches, right? If the others did the same and I seen hard evidence, then I believe it. But we should clean up the oceans, because what's happening to the marine life is absolutely disgusting. And it's not nice. And I've seen horrible videos. Actually, I've seen a video earlier in the week, and it was a video from somewhere in India, and they were truckloads of plastic was getting drove onto the beach, and you are literally tipping the plastic into the ocean, right? So when it comes to plastic, yes, that's the biggest problem I think we have right now, right? And what they don't tell you on the climate change part is all these windmills that they put up for electricity, right? If you look at the places where they put them on farmers' farmland. They've also put them on lovely countrysides, right? That's damaging the environment, by the way. It's a bit hypocritical, you know? It's a bit hypocritical. They damage the environment around. Have you ever seen one of them when they've actually destroyed themselves? And the damage that they leave around the surrounding land. You can actually watch videos. Go and watch them. It's actually, you see, there's a lot of things they don't tell you. So yeah, harp. Yeah, I'll watch all those videos. But we're getting away from topic a little bit. But we'll reel it back in because I'm going to be heading shortly. So we got Sunday anyway, the June. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Monday is going to be very interesting now. See what happens in the ratings. Does anybody want to make any predictions? I have to say, and I'm not bragging here, but I've been pretty close these last couple of weeks. I reckon it lost another 200,000 last week. I reckon we're probably looking at another drop of about. See, they've come out and said there's a massive reveal, right? So they're using every little trick in the book to garner some buzz. Now, if it works, I'm gonna say 160,000. If it doesn't work and fans aren't going to be filled, I reckon it'll lose another 300,000. But you're not going to lose more than 500, 600,000. You're not going to lose 1 million. It's just not going to happen. This is going to be a slow decline. So if the hype, the little trick that they've thrown out works, 160,000 people will walk away. If it doesn't work, I reckon around 300,000. But it won't be any more than 4 or 5. No way. There's no way. James Dawson says 4.1 million. Yeah. Could be. We'll see. What was it on last week? 4.04, wasn't it? So, yeah, you're predicting about 300,000 as well, aren't you? So, yeah. We'll say it will be a slow decline. It's not going to be huge. Unless he does something monumentally stupid in this episode. But I'm not even looking forward to it. I just I watched Series 11. I've watched Series 12. People say, this era isn't for you. You moan all the time, but I'm watching it. I'm still watching it. I'm still putting myself through it. So I have every right to comment because I watched the show. As I said, I do not believe anybody that hasn't watched the show has a right to comment on Jodie Whittaker's performance or the show itself. Because how can you give a true review of the era if you haven't even bothered to watch? So this reveal could be the final nail in the coffin, says Mark Darts. Quite possibly. We'll have to see. As I said, Sunday is going to be interesting. The panel is going to be very interesting. We always meet up a half hour before we stream to kind of get the general gist of everybody's mood. As everybody has seen over the last couple of weeks, my mood has slowly turned to depression. Each week, it's getting ridiculous. Jodie, geez, not something I think they should be doing. Yeah. And actually, I just want to do that actually before I go. Because the Jodie episode, I'm going to get it up now. That screen. Have I got that screenshot handy, actually? Let me see. If not, I can go back into the site. It'll be there. There'll be no big deal. It'll be there unless someone's changed it, but I doubt they. Why would they change it? Oh, by the way, one of the questions that Jodie was actually asked by a Joff, he says, you have the TARDIS and you know how to pilot it. Where and when would you go? Right? Firstly of all, Joff actually is probably not a real person, because if he's actually watched the show, he will find that the Doctor has never been able to pilot the TARDIS. That's why the Doctor ends up in all the situations that the Doctor has ended up in. And even in the Doctor's wife says, no, the Doctor says to the TARDIS in woman form, turn around and says, never take me where I want to go. And then the TARDIS in woman form replies, but I take you where you need to go. Right? So again, these are little bots. These are little people that are pretending. And I noticed as well, by the way, and I even made the comment when we were watching that little video yesterday, that most of the comments, did you notice, were from men? Older men as well, by the way. There were a lot of older men, right? And some of the questions they were asking were absolutely ridiculous. But that is not a real person. I'm sorry. Because if that's a fan, right, and this guy looks like he's a bit older than me if he's real, right, well, then he obviously hasn't watched any of the show. Because there's no way he would have asked that stupid question. Seriously, you have a TARDIS and you know how to pilot it. Where, when would you go? But the Doctor doesn't know how to pilot the TARDIS. That's been the bleeding problem. The only time that we got to see the TARDIS in New Who, anyway, the TARDIS being flown properly was actually in the Journey's End, the Stolen Planet Journeys, right at the end where they're all flying the TARDIS, and the Doctor explains that you need a certain amount of people to fly the TARDIS. Yeah, because she knows how to fly it properly, but the Doctor's been never able to fly the TARDIS. That's the whole point. It's ridiculous. Like, Jodie can fly the TARDIS, but everybody else couldn't. Well, CHERYL made the point River Song can, but we're leaving River Song out of this conversation because River Song was just different. Yeah, creepy male feminists. I don't think they're real, though, Daniel. I don't think they're real. Right, what was I looking for? Sorry, I was looking for something else. I got sidetracked. Oh, yeah. That IMDb. I get confused. Right, hold on. The down on the moon looking for a spoon for Jodie Whittaker's screwdriver. Yeah, that was a bit crap, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't know what I was trying to. That you're down on the moon. They need to go to school. And then my phone just has to go dead, doesn't it? Where's the charger? Thank you. Right, 30 seconds. Have I made it? I have. Right. No, I don't want the trailer. What am I looking for again? Oh, yeah. I'm a tick. Doctor Who. Right, I'm going to show you this anyway. River being able to pilot the TARDIS is Moffat appeasing the feminists, says Matthew Pounder. I know, Matthew always comes out with some whoppers. Has Teddy actually appeared on camera? You've missed him, Mikey. Sorry, Spicy Mikey. Oh, CHERYL wants me to. Okay, there. He's very floppy. There you go. Come here, buddy. I know. There he is. There. Oh. Okay. You freak. There you go. You got your dog.
Stop.
And he nearly took me hand off. So
He did not. Stop making him sound violent.
right, he's a violent little dog.
He is not.
He eats me hand every time I'm only messing. Oh, she nearly did it again.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I just want to watch my show.
Right there. So Richard Price, right, is the name of the actor. And it says Jodie, right? Oh, no. Sorry, wrong one. Wrong episode. Where am I going? See, why am I,
I don't know what it is, Ted.
what are you looking for?
What do you think I'm looking for?
What, his ball?
I just want to watch my show.
I know
What
it.
I want to do.
I thought you took it off him.
No, he keeps crying and he keeps telling me to make
Right.
it quiet.
That's weird now. Where's that screenshot I took? Because that now, what's going on here? Can I go into the episode on its own? I just want to go into the episode on its own.
Brian, do you?
There. No, that's the image. Yeah.
What do you need? What are you looking for?
It's all right. I was looking for the cast for that episode.
On which episode?
The Fugitive of the Jodie.
Fine, I'll find it.
Right, and then I had some actor saying he was playing the Sea Devil on
I
it.
told you that.
Yeah, but I took a screenshot of it. Do you remember? Because you sent it to me. Oh, didn't you send it to me on WhatsApp? Or did you? I'll just check just in case. Do us a favor, guys. Like and share and subscribe to the old channel there, guys. I really appreciate all of it. Where is this? Come on.
But the Jodie is a two-part episode.
The Jodie is a 2-part episode.
Sure appears to be.
Right, I've got the. There, I think I have it. There you go. I'm not. I knew I was right. They've removed these names.
Roman.
Matthew Rodman.
Roman.
Is a Sea Devil. So I'll show.
January 19th.
So I'll show you. Just to show you, because like some people saying, because obviously, you know. So there's the camera. Because it's only on my phone, because screenshot, it's gone now, right? So as you can see up the top, it clearly says Fugitive of the Jodie, right? You can just, the Fugitive is knocked off a little bit. But there, it's this name here right at the end here. Right, now I'm going to try and, hold on, can I big them up? There we go. There. So, see, it says Sea Devil. Can you actually see that? Sea Devil. Now that's not there now, is it? That's not there now. So they've removed it. So see, this is why I always say it's important, you know, if you see something, screenshot it, because you never know when it's taken down. So there you go. So they're saying a Sea Devil is going to appear in the Fugitive of the Jodie. Now, my speculation on that is that maybe it's going to appear right at the end, because the Jodie apparently is a 2-part story. So they might appear in the second of those 2 episodes, or they could appear directly in the next one. I don't know, but it's there for everybody to see. So it's Sea Devil, so it's clear. So I don't know what's going on there, because we were told they were actually appearing later. It looks like they might be appearing on Sunday. And that's what I said. It's going to be an interesting dynamic. Sea Devil and Jodie, I just don't see it. That's why I'm speculating. It's probably, they probably appear at the end of the episode. So we'll have to see. I don't know what you guys feel, but I've showed you there now. See, that's the thing. I always take screenshots, and I'd advise you to do the same especially when it comes to Doctor Who information, because you never know when it's taken down, because BBC do try to be very secretive. And I mean, you've seen how quickly they took down my video for the Spyfall information. Now, I've had to be very careful on this channel ever since, because, it's just, they're not letting anybody put any information out there. And then when they do, if someone does succeed like I did, you get hit. And that's what's happened. So we have to be careful when we're saying things, but the Sea Devils we've known about for a good while on this channel. But I just don't see the two of them in there. I just don't see how this is going to work. Can anybody else in the live chat there actually? That's a question I'd like to ask you all. Do you actually see the Jodie and the Sea Devils in the same episode actually working? Because I honestly don't. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's going to be a good dynamic? Or do you think, as I'm speculating, that they'll probably just appear in the end of the episode? So let me know what you think. I'll just have a look at some of the live comments there and see what some of you actually have to say. I'd rather they not bring back classic villains. They are likely to just ruin them. That's odd. Maybe they are loose in two-parter there, says Ben. And can't see them mixing too good, says Extra Spice Mikey. I actually agree. I don't think it doesn't look like the type of dynamic that would actually work, or duo. I mean, everybody was interested to see the Daleks and the Cybermen interact, and that was interesting. But I just don't see how the Jodie and the Sea Devils are going to interact with each other. Will they be working together? Will they be, enemies? As speculated earlier on the channel, we do know that the Jodie might be looking for this character called Root. So, they're not after the Sea Devils. So, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting because, and this is the thing about this era, it might be badly edited. The stories might be crap, but it makes it interesting for me and other YouTubers, because we're trying to figure out what he's at. They're just not too I wouldn't even call the Jodie really a villain as such, but they're two. One's a classic and one's a new Who, and it just, I don't see it working. I don't know, because even with the Cybermen and the Daleks, if you look at it, they were still classic villains facing up against each other in New Who. This is different. This is like the Sea Devils and the Jodie have never been in an episode together. So, look, again, as I said, someone could have edited that site. I don't know if it's possible. I keep asking people if it's possible, but I think only the actor themselves can actually put their name in. So, so if that's the case, then if it's from the actor themselves, then you can logically speculate that he's definitely in the episode in some capacity. So we'll just have to wait and see. But this is the poorest sci-fi. There's actually no sci-fi in Doctor Who. I hate when people say it's sci-fi. What sci-fi is there actually in this era? There's none. Just because you had Nikola Tesla in an episode, Jodie Whittaker created her own screwdriver, and then you see her underneath the TARDIS. That's not sci-fi. Where's the sci-fi lingo even? We don't even get sci-fi lingo anymore. I mean, it's just... And like, when are we going to get some space battles? Proper space Doctor in space? Like, there's just so many things wrong. And I just don't know where we go from here. The TARDIS zone. Anyone who pays membership to IMDb can edit info. It has to be approved by IM. Hold on. Oh, where is it? Where's that comment? Because it's the first time I've gotten an explanation. Where is it? It's not down that far, is it? Oh, there. So Ben says, anyone who pays membership to the IMDb can edit info. It has to be approved by IMDb, but the system is rigorous. Right. Well then there you go. I mean...
He says you're done.
Yeah. Sorry, Teddy is just a bit grumpy. Yeah, he's never happy. He's never happy. Teddy wants his pig ears. No, Teddy doesn't get them anymore. Teddy's is on a healthy diet now. We keep our Teddy healthy. Keep him fit as a fiddle. So no more junk for Teddy anymore. So that's that. But listen, all I'll just say is that we're heading into, after this episode, we're heading into the second half of the series. And as I said, when we do, we will do a special stream on the midpoint, and we will talk about Ray and discuss how we feel about the first 5 episodes of Doctor Who, and we will have a panel on that. So that will be interesting, because we are all in agreement anyway on the panel that Series 12 has been an improvement. It has produced one of the worst episodes in Doctor Who's history, granted, but Spyfall 1 generally was not a bad episode. It's just the rest around that has been complete nonsense. Chris Chibnall's either blatant or just hasn't watched Doctor Who. He's ignored in canon at will. He's decided to destroy Gallifrey for some weird reason. Some of us kind of know where he's going with it, and we have spoke about it on this channel. And it looks like he could be going in the whole retcon and the whole show. But we'll have to see. It, as I said, we're going into the second half now, shortly after this week. And a lot of YouTubers out there will do a mid-season review. That's what happens. We'll do it on with this panel. It'll be interesting to see, but it hasn't been, for as far as I'm concerned, it hasn't been great. It's been mediocre. If this was in a Chibnall, if this was in a Moffat or an RTD era, actually, being honest, none of his episodes would get into a Moffat RTD era. Now, they're just too poor. So that's my opinion. Right, folks, listen, we've been on for an hour and a half. This wasn't a normal streaming day, of course. Decided to do this because obviously Eddie went live with his video. So just to recap for everybody that has joined, say, in the last half hour or so, the rumor is, well, Jodie Whittaker has gone around, as we know. She's telling people that she's actually staying for Series 13. Now, I will say this, Christopher Eccleston and Matt Smith both said they were still in the role when, in fact, they were already gone. So, as I have said, until I see Jodie Whittaker actually physically on location, then as far as I'm concerned, I still think, look, at BBC cannot justify these falling ratings and keep Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall. Someone has to go. And unfortunately, the scapegoat will be Jodie Whittaker because it's not all her fault. She was cast wrongly. She has been given poor material. She hasn't helped herself recently either. But in saying that, the main culprit is Chibnall, and he's probably going to hang on to his job. So if we can't get rid of him, well, then I just, at this stage, personally speaking, I'd rather him over her right now, because if she got an improved writer, we never know. But we will never know what a Jodie Whittaker decently written Doctor Who would have looked like, because Chris Chibnall is just not capable of writing anything decent. And that is the sad part for me. Even though I do believe the role is a male role and they should never have changed it in the first place. But by God, if you're going to give it to a woman, at least give her all the tools to make it a success. Don't hinder her at every opportunity. Like, for example, telling her not to go and watch Classic Who. Telling her to play a scene rather than actually learning the history of the show and actually learning, trying to get, why this character means so much to so many people and actually show respect. Right now, it looks like Jodie Whittaker is just reading lines off a page, off a script, basically, and it's a job to her. And until I feel like she's actually putting her heart and soul into it, she never will be the Doctor in my eyes. And I think that's why she'll never be accepted by most of this fandom. It's because they can see it's only a job to her. They can see that she's not putting her heart and soul into it. Yes, she does try. That doesn't mean she's putting her heart and soul into it. She tries sometimes, but even when she does try, she's not at the level or the standard that she needs to be to elevate this role. She has basically took this role to elevate her career and not the other way around. An actor and actress that takes on this role comes in to elevate the show to a new level, right? When we had Eccleston, when he came back, when New Who came back, right, it got elevated then when David Tennant took over. And then it went stratospheric when Matt Smith took over. But everybody added to it and everybody made it better, right? Including Peter Capaldi. Even if the scripts were bad, he made them half decent, right? Only a good actor could do that. Only a great actor could do that. And that's what we got in Peter Capaldi. And then we get to Jodie Whittaker and she's mediocre. I'm sorry, she's just not good enough for this role. The writing standard is not good enough. It's not at the level it should be. The writing team, they should, as I said, everybody from top to bottom, including Piers Wenger, because he gave Chris Chibnall his job, and whoever sanctioned this, every single one of them should be sacked. You destroy one of your most popular IPs, along with Top Gear as well, when you get rid of the 3 long-serving members of Top Gear. You get rid of them, and you lose your money. You're in trouble. You have to start making decisions. And the ratings are going to continue. As I said, it will be a slow decline. We'll see what happens, but this cannot continue. It cannot continue. We will just have to see. We'll just have to see. Right, listen, before I do go, I'm back tomorrow, Friday, panel, as usual. And And then on Sunday, then about what I do is I kind of leave it an hour now till after the episode has aired. It gives me panelists time to go over the episode again. Obviously, if they've missed something and they want to write something down. But secondly, there's a couple of other YouTubers that go on straight after the episode. So I like, they don't stay on for long. They stay on for about an hour. So I think I'll go on a perfect time to get the most audience watching, because I want to try to get as many people watching these reviews, because you really need to know what's really happening with this show, and it's an absolute shambles right now, and it's sad. And it annoys me, because it didn't need to be, and I keep saying it didn't need to be this way at all. They could still have written something of quality, but they gave the job to a man that is just not qualified, and that's the problem. And Matthew Pounder's right. Jodie Whittaker gets paid $250,000 per season. That's enough money to motivate any actress. She simply can't act. That is the problem. She just hasn't got the acting ability for this role. Look, she's good playing a grieving mother in Broadchurch, because she's not in it that much. She wasn't bad in Black Mirror. If you think that performance of her playing a woman that had an affair, and most of the scenes of her is in the bedroom, and if you think that was great acting, that's fine. If that's your cup of tea. She was in Attack the Block again. She was fine, but nothing spectacular. See, this is the problem. She's not spectacular. She doesn't have that personality. She doesn't have that charisma. She doesn't have that screen presence. Gravitas. These are words that we use. As I said, she just comes across as if this is a job to her, and that's not the way. You should be honored to play the role. You should be privileged. You should understand the weight of expectation on your shoulders when you take that role. You should honor and pay tribute to past incarnations. You should do everything in your power to win over the fandom, like Sasha. Right? When he was introduced to the fandom, he did all the right things. Jodie Whittaker has done none of what he has done. Right? First thing that came out of her mouth, don't fear me gender, when she was announced. Right? Then she went on to the radio and then she had an interview, and that didn't go too well. BBC again as well didn't help her, because they should have shut her up, because she was saying things, in my opinion, that damaged this fandom. And then, of course, all the fallout of her casting Peter Davison, as I said, fans abusing him, fans abusing Peter Capaldi, making disgusting remarks about Peter Capaldi too. This era will be remembered for all the wrong things, and it'll be remembered for shattering a once great show and fandom. And that's the sad thing, because this fandom was a great fandom. Right, listen, folks, I am gonna head now, and as I said, I will see you on Friday. I just want to thank everybody in the live chat, and if any of me moderators have been here, obviously I'm on the StreamYard version, so I don't know if any of me moderators are actually in the chat. If you are, thank you very much. Thank you everybody in the live chat for taking part as well. And we will have a new outro soon. Bad Wolf 66, as you see, did the new intro. We will leave with that intro again, because I do like it, but he is working on a new outro for the channel, so I can't wait to see that, because I do like this intro. Any plans to get that babyface dude on a podcast? Is that the guy that we were talking about earlier? I will send me his YouTube channel. If it's the same person that I think you're on about, yeah, I think I text him. I've texted Critical Drinker as well. I've actually even asked Doomcock to come onto the channel. We've had Gary on the channel. We've had Ballstreck on the channel. Eddie Ascaro. We've had Nerdaholics as well. We've had loads, but I'm trying to get Doomcock on, obviously, because he's never been on, and obviously Critical Drinker and a couple of other YouTubers as well. So if any of you YouTubers are actually listening to this stream, there's an invite onto the channel if you would like to come on talk about Doctor Who and obviously the other stuff that you are involved in. Be really nice to have you on. And Matthew says, night to the GLYNN clan. Thank you very much, Matthew. Appreciate that, mate. And thanks. Nice to see you, as I said, again in the fandom, interacting. I know you've been kind of away for a while. Don't blame you, to be quite honest with you. It's been a crap few years, hasn't it? Right, listen, folks, I'm going to go. So I will leave you with Bad Wolf 66's intro. He, as I said, he is working on an outro, but I do like this, so we will end. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great weekend, and yeah, looking forward to the weekend. We'll have plenty to talk about. Talk to you all soon, guys.
You are about to enter a zone like no other. A zone which is uncensored and unfiltered. Starring Noel GLYNN with CHERYL GLYNN. Also starring Teddy the Terrier. You are watching the official Tardis zone. Prepare yourselves. This will be a trip of a lifetime.